There's a different kind of vibe to the M.Litt, and because it's so condensed in a year, so much happens, and I can't believe how productive I've been in the past year. It's unbelievable what we've done. The M.Litt was more attractive to me because it was condensed into 12 months. It was 1 year, and I could specialise in my specialised area of printmaking.
It's just a bit more of a go thing with the M.Litt. I was interested in something that I understood to be a more focused studio course. And this certainly is quite focused on studio. You know, you can kind of just talk things out on an immediate basis because there's usually at least one other person around, and you know, you kind of naturally establish in your mind whose opinions you like for certain things, you know, like if it's a technique question or if it's a conceptual question, you know, so that, you know, becomes quite a good resource.
The two key differences between the M.Litt and the MFA are, first of all, that the M.Litt is a 1-year programme. So in a sense it's more focused, it's slightly more kind of concentrated, if you like. And the other defining characteristic of it is that it's structured around what we call the 4 pathways. So students enter the programme either on the painting pathway, the fine art photography pathway, printmaking pathway, or the sculpture pathway.
Everyone that started the course had a very limited idea as to what to expect, but what we did know was that we'd be specialised in a certain pathway, and then within that we'd get special tutoring in that pathway. So for me it was definitely worthwhile because sculpture is what I do, and well, mixed with performance art as well.
The MFA was broadly characterised as being, if you like, not disciplinary specific. In other words, it was a kind of broadly based fine art programme. So we thought it would be really right and proper and defensible to have a postgraduate qualification that linked to the undergraduate one.
Also, what that means is that it's more suitable for certain people in relation maybe to their kind of career development. I mean, perhaps taking a year off to do postgraduate study rather than the kind of the 2 years.
We anticipated a very slow growth of M.Litt. I think we estimated the first year we'd have probably about 8 students, and the next year we might go up to 12. Well, the first year we already we more than doubled the target because of the demand. And also some students who had applied to the MFA saw the M.Litt, found the M.Litt a better fit for what they wanted to do.
I was painting before, because before coming to Glasgow I did a year-long residency at the Florence Trust in London, but I think it was just something I was doing, but maybe without the same focus that I have now, and I think the Masters really helped me to gain exposure, I think, straight after I finished. I think it just gave me a lot more confidence and kind of reinforced me in what I decided I wanted to be, and it's just, you know, it was like if I wanted to paint, there's actually, I probably have a means to be a painter and make things happen.
It was an awful lot of work, but like everyone was, as a group, we were all really proud by what the outcome of everyone's work was. And I don't know, we had just so many conversations about, oh, this work should go here, and like we just really worked great together.
I'm originally from Iraq. I grew up in the United Arab Emirates, and I studied architecture for my undergrad in Canada, in Montreal. And then I worked for 10 years as an architect, actually. Then I decided to just stop working and try to pursue this full time, so I came to Glasgow and did the Masters That's how it happened, yeah. We had 2 very open studios. There'd be a few of us who worked quite a bit of hours in the studios, and we'd sort of walk about and sort of chat about each other's work and sort of exchange technique, but also just talk about ideas and things.
I think we were very lucky because we were in the Macintosh building, so the kind of original building. And I think in many other countries that might just be a museum, so it was just, I felt very privileged to study there, amazing views over the city. And I just happened to get on really well with the people I was studying with. So there were a few other people, same background as me, they did something else before, they worked before, and they came back, and it was just great atmosphere where we would work really late at night. I mean, it was really intense, we all worked really hard. But it was fun at the same time. We would stay on late, get some wine, get some food, stay on until sometimes 11.
Another important connection that we have is with the Glasgow Sculpture Studios in the Whiskey Barn. In fact, the Sculpture Pathway students on the M.Litt programme, they have their studios currently in the Whiskey Barn, the Glasgow Sculpture Studios.
Yeah, it's been hugely influential this year. I think one of the best things about it was that out of the 8 of us sculptors, 7 of us were new to Glasgow, so we all kind of only had each other. So we all kind of got to know each other really well very quickly, and worked together quite intensively early on. Like in January we did a big show together, and then another one a few months later. And being in an open plan space like this, you can't help but have endless discussions about what you're doing and how you're feeling about the work, and sharing books and sharing ideas. I worked for 8 years out in the real world as an artist, and studios are normally quite quiet, kind of can be quite lonely places, and it's been really brilliant having people to kind of bounce stuff off and share anxieties with.
Well, compared to my expectations of going back to art school and having had various studio spaces in London over the years, typically very small and quite grotty, cold in the winter, this is quite something, I would say. This is sort of more than I could expect.
Pretty quickly with the M.Litt, we're just reaching the end of the 2nd year of its operation now, but even in its first year, students were demonstrating those same levels of initiative, if you like, in terms of becoming involved in projects out with the programme, becoming involved in the Glasgow art scene, the Glasgow art world, participating in exhibitions, initiating exhibitions, and so on and so forth. The group as a whole, we were invited to exhibit in the Glasgow Print Studio, which was again a terrific opportunity.
Yeah, so I suppose it was the first time we've all shown together. So I think all of us were really kind of excited and curious to see how all the different work would sit together. Having a space that's traditionally used for showing prints was a bit of a challenge for us sculptors. So I decided to do something quite site-specific using the existing window seats, because at the time I was thinking a lot about how an audience would receive my work, how I could slow them down enough to listen to a long kind of meditative sound piece or watch a long video.
I mean, the process with that show was, it was kind of charmed in a way because they hung, the staff hung the show for us. So we were there to discuss placement and we submitted a proposal, and there were a lot of logistical things, I think especially for the sculptors. But I think we all kind of were really excited to show in such a classy venue, and also just to have a team of pros, kind of putting the work up, putting the show up for us was just really exciting.
Our main show will be in the Macintosh. Knowing what you can achieve in a year, it's not too daunting, but it's really exciting that we'll finally have a kind of collection of work together and show it as a collective.
I suppose the biggest thing for me is that before I came to do this course, I was working almost full-time for a big public gallery in London, and I kind of left and came to Glasgow to kind of change suppose they're almost like the structure of my life, so I've kind of determined to try and find some kind of way to support myself as an artist.
I mean, one of the reasons why I did the Masters is because I want to kind of know what I'm doing career-wise, job-wise. Yeah, I mean, I would love to teach. I'd love to teach.
I just wanted to go on a higher level in art world, and like I said, there in Slovenia, it's very hard to have in a way success. When you study and when you finish here, I think you have more opportunities in life. So you have more chance to find a better job or to be recognized like an artist.
The M.Litt was designed as a framework qualification that we could add into as we want to, as we think is appropriate. And we've already started to explore the possibility of a curatorial pathway. As I've said already, we've already committed ourselves to do a drawing pathway, which I'd like to see as something available to designers and architects as well as to fine artists. And who's to say what else? The postgraduate area is so interesting because people are kind of old enough to have strong ideas about what they want to do. So you could do something, certainly do something with writing and visual arts. You could do something with music and the visual arts. There are a number of ways you can explore that with student interest, and I very much hope that was the start of a new generation of postgraduate work for GSA and for the School of Fine Art.